Well, hello everyone. Thank you for wanting to join us tonight here on the Six Screens Telenetwork. Well, my name's Rick Farron. I'm up here in Boston, and we do this every Saturday night. What we do is we expose, we speak up about the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Watchtower organization. Now, I want you to listen closely tonight. Maybe if you're not understanding totally what goes on in the Jehovah's Witness world, well, tonight you'll get a little idea of some of the tactics that they use to keep people connected, and not only on this program, but also on the program coming up afterward. But what we do here, we have active, well, I should say there are some active Jehovah's Witnesses that call into the program as well, but we have former Jehovah's Witnesses who have a story to tell. And you'll hear them calling in tonight from pretty much all over the world, and they're going to tell you how they feel about certain things that have happened to them as a result of being in the Watchtower. And a lot of the things you're going to hear tonight, they're not too pleasant. They might even get you angry, but I want you to listen in and don't, if you're an active witness and you're listening into the program tonight, don't head for the mountains and say, I got to get out of here. These are a bunch of mad, irate apostates. Don't think that. I want you just to stay with us and follow it through. And anything that's said here tonight, friends, it's so easy to fact check. You can fact check everything that's said here tonight on the six screens. All you have to do is punch it into Google and use their Gemini AI stream. And man, I'm telling you, you will be surprised. Now, I don't want you to be totally shocked, but it's just not me sitting there saying this. You're going to be hearing people from all over the world talk about how they've been touched by the tentacles of the Watchtower. Hello, Anne Marie.
Hello, my brother Rick.
Well, there you are. You're wide awake. You're full of energy. You're ready to tackle the big project tonight of running a radio program and a YouTube and Facebook channel. So we're all looking forward to it. So give us a little rundown. You're going to be talking about mind control, huh?
Well, we all know the basic mind control components of the average cult. We know the BITE model stands for behavioral control, information control, thought control, and emotional control. But I ran across some other things regarding mind control and the mind control games that controllers use to control millions. And specifically, I want people to think of Jehovah's Witnesses. These were not websites discussing Jehovah's Witnesses, but simply facts of mind control. And that's what I'm going to run over.
Well, sounds good to me. So, Anne Marie, I'll let you do your program. I'm here if you need me. Just let me know and I'll come right in. Take it away, Anne Marie.
Well, may I read the poem first?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. I'm listening. Yeah.
One moment. I have to get the right page. I was thinking about you and I thought, Rick is such a great guy. And here it goes. Here's to Rick Farron. He's loving, he's caring. He's not much for fluff, but he's factual, sure enough. Against the Watchtower he rises with no compromises. The six screens he runs, he makes it look fun. But we all learn a lot because lots of info he's got. After 20 long years, through the hardships and tears, Rick's still going strong. We should sing him a song. We owe him so much for his kindness and such. So here's to Rick Farron. He's so loving and caring.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you. I like that. I like that. In fact, I've been getting a lot of accolades this week. I really thank you for that. And well, I appreciate it. I really do. And someone I was mentioning on our little promo I did there on YouTube that someone made a film or a video about me and the six screens and all of us really, and they really had a lot of false information in this video, Anne Marie. They said that I was a Harvard graduate. I was a Disney executive. I'm worth $351 million. This is on YouTube. I I couldn't believe it. And they said that the Watchtower is monitoring Rick Farron and people calling in from all over the world and how they love to share their stories. So there's some good parts of it, but I just want the audience to know because I don't want them to think it's all true. So I'm going to show some little clips of that tonight. It kind of, I'll tell you what, Susan and I were traveling this week back from Illinois, and she was, on her phone at night and really in the morning, and she came across this. She woke me up. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was going to be all negative, but the name of the video was Rick Farron Exposed. And boy, I just figured it was going to be terrible. And there's some terrible things in there. There's a few things they don't like, but it shocked me. But this is what's going on today, Anne Marie. You have a hard time believing things,
Hey guys, at least half of it was true.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to play a little excerpt. I know you would appreciate it, Pixie, but they were saying on there that,
Another thing, Margaret Atwood that wrote Handmaid's Tale has mentioned you as Radio Free Boston.
Radio Free Boston. Well, we'll take that. I'll take that one. That's a good compliment. Yeah, sure. Well, good. Well, thank you. But well, I like the poem, Anne Marie, and thank you. So I feel flattered here this week, and I want to thank all the people. And I got to share some things with you on my news tonight, too. I met some really nice witnesses, ex-witnesses, I should say, out in Illinois. I won't identify who they are if they're listening, but I want to let you know that it was kind of fun meeting with them. So anyways, Anne Marie, I'm here if you need me. Thank you for that poem.
Oh, God bless you, my brother. And I thank you. I want to welcome everyone into the show. If you're a PIMQ, you're physically in Watchtower, but mentally questioning, you are safe on this show, 6 Screens of the Watchtower. We would love to hear from you. If you're a new caller, please let me know. And I want you to feel comfortable. Of course, we welcome the PMOs, physically in, mentally out. Those who are struggling in the Watchtower to portray themselves as an obedient Watchtowerite, but mentally they are out. They see the cult for what it is. They see the twisted truth and the outright lies and the scams and the propaganda and the mind control techniques. They're trying to get their family out, or for whatever reason, they're still there. And we get a lot of information from PMO elders that share with Rick and Kim and Mikey on YouTube. I wanted to discuss today mind control facts. We all know the BITE model: behavioral control, information control, thought control, and emotional control. But I dug further and I found some other interesting points on how mind control games control millions, especially we're thinking about the Jehovah's Witnesses. Today is June 13th, 2026. This is the show Touched by the Tentacles of the Watchtower. I do want to kind of get through what I wrote before I invite anybody in, because I don't want to get sidetracked. And I hope you guys will forgive me, because there are things that I think need to be said and need to be heard. Number one, regarding mind control facts, these mind control games that control millions of Jehovah's Witnesses. Number one is the less you know, the easier you are to control. Think God governing body never wanted us to get an education, because if you're in university, first thing is you're expected to use your brain. Number two, people agree with confidence, not always with facts. So if lies and propaganda are, portrayed as, facts, you're going to be more inclined to believe it if you're told not to think for yourself, because you see the governing body speaking with confidence, and that helps you to believe it. And you don't seem to really think about, well, wait a minute, is that really true? And we know, again, the governing bodies always speak with confidence. Number three, repetition. Repetition makes lies feel more like truth. Hitler said, speak a lie long enough, often enough, no matter how big, and people will end up believing it. Number 4, guilt is one of the strongest forms of control. Guilt of not being good enough, guilt of not, being approved of. And remember, we brought up before in another show, a telephobia. A telephobia is the fear of not being good enough, not being perfect. Number 5 of these mind control games, most people avoid or they obey in order to avoid standing out. Jehovah's Witnesses they want to feel that they belong. Jehovah's Witnesses want to feel approval. Number 6, somebody's phone's going off. Hope you get it. Number 6, your emotions can be used against you. For example, your fear of being judged, fear of being not approved of, fear of being gossiped about. Number 7, logic works only when people want it to. Facts and truth are disturbing to some. People that don't want to know the truth about what they believe, they don't want to know the facts of the truth because they disturb their little bubble. Number 8, distraction is the enemy of awareness. Doesn't the Watchtower keep you distracted constantly? Remember, freedom begins when you question everything. And that's the one thing you're not supposed to do in Watchtower. Now, here are some actual mind control tactics that I got on another site. Number 1 is make them, the Jehovah's Witnesses, make them doubt their own perception, but not doubt the lies of those who are speaking whatever they want you to believe. Number 2, they use unpredictability to keep the Jehovah's Witnesses off balance. Number 3, reward loyalty, punish independence, punish those who question. Number 4, create problems and then offer the solutions. You're stressed out in the Watchtower, you feel anxiety, you're depressed, you're unsure of yourself, you don't know what to think. Oh, that's because they create the problems, the Watchtower, but then they offer the solution. Study more, pray more, be a better wife, be a better husband, go out in the service more. Number 5, normalize the toxic. Watchtower is very toxic. Normalize the toxic and make it their new normal. Make it so Jehovah's Witnesses get used to being in a toxic environment. How they think can be often toxic. Number 6, isolate the Jehovah's Witnesses slowly, which they do slowly, and then become their entire world. Isn't that what they do when they first get someone to start studying? Number 7, use guilt to turn their empathy against them. They don't want you feeling sorry for someone who's being treated badly in the Watchtower, or somebody that's sad and maybe they get depressed. Oh no, you have to put Jehovah first. So use guilt to turn their empathy against them. Number 8, keep them addicted to the highs and lows. You feel like you're doing better, now you feel beat down. Remember, the longer you choose to look away, to refuse to get answers for those nagging questions that you just want to keep swallowing down, the harder it is to see what's right in front of you. Now, I don't want you guys to think that I don't have any kind of help. There are some things that can help you. One is to take a breath, calm yourself down, and ask yourself if any scary thought or fear that comes into your mind or heart, ask yourself, is it really your thought or is it from Watchtower programming? Programming runs deep. Learn to sit back without emotion and to logically tell the difference. Is it your thought, or is it the programming raising its ugly head? Pray for help to free yourself from the programming. And there are some songs on YouTube that will help. And I hope you guys look back in the archives and write these down. One song by Fleetwood Mac is Go Your Own Way. Fleetwood Mac also did an encouraging song called Don't Stop. Don't stop. Don't stop believing. It'll get better. Sly and the Family Stone did a great song called Stand. It's always stand for the things that you know are right. Stand for what you believe. They will try to put you down. Even though they know that what you're saying makes sense, they'll still try to tear you down. Paul Simon had a really happy, had a real good beat to it. It's called 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. Well, consider your lover the Watchtower. Basically, recognize that it's toxic, it's not good for you, and just know that there are ways to get out. Leaving behind the Watchtower control over you. Now, The Who is another group. They put out a wonderful song called Won't Get Fooled Again. And REM, R-E-M, they put out Losing My Religion in the early 90s. And I used to listen to that 20 times a day, because losing our religion, it means we've woken up, but we're looking at our ones that we love that are still lost in the religion and hoping that there's a sign that they're going to start waking up. So it's one thing to acknowledge the mind control tactics, the indoctrination, the programming, the stress that we were under, but it also helps to have some tools that we can use, which I just read, and I can read it again at the end of the show if somebody wants me to. Okay, I thank you for letting me read what I wanted to put out there. Is there anybody who would like to hit *6 and say, hello, I'm here for you because this is your show? Any thoughts on the mind control games that were played on us? The use of propaganda, creating problems and then acting like it's your fault and you need to be the one to get over it? Hi, Donald.
How are you? Yeah, that's quite the list there. And as you were reading that, I was kind of thinking, okay, if Watchtower does all this, where in the world is the Christianity behind that?
Well, we know they're not Christians. There's no way they're Christians. That makes sense.
If they're busy doing all that, where is the Christianity? That's what I was wondering. Like, how do they how do they claim that what all that is that they're doing is Christian when it's not?
You make sense as always, Donald.
Yeah, I try to.
So how are you doing?
Doing good, just keeping busy here as usual. Been working on some music. I actually made a bunch of if I can talk. I made a whole bunch of Watchtower music. Now this is not. This is music that I wrote that's about people, that people wanted to leave Watchtower, stuff like that. And I've been putting all that together. And I sent Rick a link to that music as well, so he has it. But yeah, I want to try to get that out to as many people as I can. It's pretty good music. It's done with Suno. I use AI to create it, but it's really good stuff. But yeah, that's what I've been working on.
Well, that sounds so good. I mean, we need all of the input we can to help us. And that sounds like it's great. You do sound like a very talented man, and I know you work hard. I'd love to hear it sometime.
Yeah, you can ask Rick for it. He can send it to you. There's a link I sent him, and you can get it from him as well. He should still have it.
Way to go, Donald.
You'll be able to download it and so forth.
Oh, that would be good.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Yep. It doesn't cost anything.
Anything else you want to add? Oh, please do. Thank you, Donald. Yes, ma'am. That's it. Well, what's your name again? My name's Anne Marie, and Donald was just speaking. What's your name? Oh, okay. My name's Bernadette. So, Anne Marie, I'm really glad that you're covering this subject. And right now, I'm in the process of rereading Ray Francis' book, that In Search of Christian Freedom. And I'm actually right in the chapter 12, Indoctrination and Subordination. And then chapter 13 is Argumentation and Manipulation. And it's really sickening how this so-called religion, like they have two standards. They're really, really good at like warning us against other groups, and also trying to convince Bible study, oh, you have to completely examine what you believe and 100%, and then they flip it once you're in the cult. He does talk about the isolation and how nobody is more isolated than Jehovah's Witnesses. And we know that's true. But I would recommend anybody to read both his books, but on this subject, particularly these chapters. And one thing I notice, and I've been thinking about it lately, is, sometimes on Facebook, I'll see somebody, I've been out of the cult for 10 years, but I'm thinking about going back. And my heart always drops because I feel like they never really left. Like they never went through the clearing process. Like, we were brainwashed. We were in a cult. I was in it for 50 years, and I just got out 2.5 years ago. And we have to deprogram all these years of what they did to us. And I think that some, people leave for different reasons, but I think that sometimes then people, they get lonely or bored, and it's like, I want to go back. But I think it's because they never really appreciate, how bad this group, so-called religion, is. And I will say, what really helped me, I think this channel that Rick's got is a huge help. But I also think that people need to take the time. Well, I really do think true Christianity is the answer. I think that God heals us. I know not everybody chooses that, and I respect their choice. But at the very least, I think that people should go through a deprogramming process. And the way I did that was with Jay Hess, listening to his archives and his YouTubes. This last year, I spent many hours, and I have a grocery order. Okay. I'm going to wrap this up real quick. Rick, Jay, he, in a very nice way, he exposes, he lets you know all the false ways that they misled us. I think we need to be convinced of that so that we can not go back, not return to the vomit. And I have a grocery. I've got to go. I've got somebody at the door, but thank you for covering this subject. Well, thank you, my dear Bernadette. Come back on if you can. I will. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Donald, are you still there? Would anybody like to call in or comment? Sure.
I'm still
Hi,
Marie.
sweetie. I'm right here.
Hi, this is Stephen. I want to
Hi,
say, first of all, I really
Stephen.
enjoyed the comment. Hello. I really enjoyed the comment from the sister that just had to hang up because it's so true. I say all the time that if you haven't left the Jehovah's Witnesses for doctrinal reasons, meaning that you've studied their doctrine and then you've studied history, you've studied the false prophecies, once you realize and prove for yourself, yes, this doctrine is incorrect and these men are not interested in actually correcting and teaching the truth, then you leave and you probably would never come back, at least not for doctrinal reasons, maybe just for social reasons. But she's so right. A lot of people have left because maybe they had a bad experience with the elders, brother so-and-so hurt their feelings, or I knew somebody that left because he had dated basically 3 Jehovah's Witness sisters and each one seemed to have broken his heart. And that's why he left. But of course, he never left his doctrine. He still believes the doctrine 100%. So that's why I always say, just to back up what she said, if you haven't left for doctrinal reasons, you really haven't left. And if perhaps they're making up changes, in your mind, these social changes like wear a beard and sisters wear pants or whatever it is, you might go back. And you never realizing that you never really investigated the teaching, the doctrine, you don't even realize that it's wrong. So she's so right about that. And I think when you do come out for doctrinal reasons, I'm a deep dive type of person. So I did a deep dive. And I didn't just do a deep dive in witnesses. I did a deep dive in the Bible. Deep dive in outside of the informal space. Why was I attracted to this cult? And more importantly, why the hell did I stay for the majority of my life in such a wacky, nutty group? So I had to do my research, and I guess that's my point of view. And again, I began to realize that yes, they are a cult because they apply these cult teachings, but not only are they a cult, there's many other cults, or there's many other organizations that apply cult teachings and cult practices in their organization. So I totally agree with what she said. Yes, you need to do a deep dive, maybe get therapy, whatever that means to you, whether it's reading some books, being on channels like this one, but yeah, you definitely need it. And again, if you haven't left Watchtower for doctrinal reasons, you really haven't left Watchtower.
Is there a lot of wind where you are? Because I'm getting a lot of, sounds like hard gusts of wind.
I'm outside working, and that's why I'm going to go back on mute right now. Sorry about that.
I just want to piggyback on what Stefan said and recommend again the Exiting the JW Cult book. That's Exiting the JW Cult, a healing handbook by Bonnie Zeman. And I was 50 before the Armageddon dreams left, even though I had left for many reasons. And a lot of older people stay for family, but your public library's got crochet groups and things. Look around in your community and see if you can find a safe, fun group, no matter what age you might be.
Oh, that's good. Was that book called The Exiting the JW Group, or what was that?
It's called, I've recommended it several times. It's called Exiting the JW Cult, a healing handbook for current and former Jehovah's Witnesses. It's on Amazon. It's a paperback. She's a PhD, and her last name is Zeman. Z as in zebra, I-E-M-A-N, Zeman. And they talk in there about the games they played on us, and it's a good little paperback, and I've read it about 3 times. So when you get
the book, Pixie, I can't write as fast as you talk. I want to get this, I just want to get the right name. I don't want to misquote you. So the book is Exiting the what?
Exiting the JW Cult.
Oh, I love it. And it's by Zeman. You can get it on Amazon, do you think?
You can, and again, her last name is Z as in zebra. Z-I-E-M-A-N. She also has a book for therapists, and you don't need the workbook. You could use any notebook and scribble, but the book that is helpful is Exiting the JW Cult. And my advice on this is read it through once. then keep it around and read it through in another month and highlight and put your notes and all in the book and just keep reading it till you feel better. Because I had a lot of reasons for leaving, but I was still having nightmares at 50.
Oh my God, those nightmares.
And that was even after I left for doctrinal reasons and them trying to extort the house and all that. So this takes time. And again, my other recommendation, find out where your public library is. Get into the book club lecture or the crochet group with some safe people that are in your community for 20 minutes. That's a good place to start. It doesn't even cost as much as a class at a community college. Just see what your community has that are safe things to go to.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. I appreciate your advice. You always have good advice.
I try. I work all week to come up with something for you guys. I do.
Did you ever get a hold of those people that you thought were going to take you to the memorial and you said you hadn't heard from them in 2 weeks? What happened with that?
He was very sick after his surgery and he did physical therapy. So I'm still friends with him if I need a ride somewhere. And I had a wonderful birthday this week with 4 college pals, one couple I hadn't seen in 26 years.
Oh, happy birthday, Pixie.
Thank you. I had a beautiful meal and they stayed and we chatted and joked forever because they've known me for a very long time. So it's good to reconnect with your safe pals that you can trust that are like your family. It's good to reconnect if you can with your family. So just get out there this summer and see what's there.
Good advice, my dear. Good advice. I'm happy for you.
Thanks. Chat again soon. Bye.
Okay, thanks, Pixie. Would anybody else like to call in and comment? We read several things about mind control games, and I also included a few helpful tools that you could use, because everybody can talk about the problem and the symptoms of the problem, but a lot of us are still left, like Pixie said, with nightmares from Armageddon, nightmares because of the propaganda, the trauma, PTSD. When those thoughts come into your head, and they often come in when you're doing dishes or laying around in your bed or reading a book, all of a sudden it just comes in, because that programming that we were indoctrinated with at every turn. This is Stu.
I'm sorry. Hi, Anne Marie.
Hi, what's your name? What do we call you?
RJ.
RJ, you know I love it when you come in. Hello, RJ. What's that?
Thank you. It's an honor to call in bi-monthly. That's right. The 2 times a month is bi-monthly, right?
Yes, sir.
You just mentioned PTSD.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I really have that from being a witness, but one thing, it's like a trigger, is when I hear like extreme empathy and people like being really good to each other, because like, I'm like, you got to be kidding me, because, you know, when I was a witness, there was like no wiggle room. Like you had to be perfect. Like there was no messing up and there was no forgiveness. And then like some people are like the complete opposite side of the spectrum. And I'm like, it just is like it warps my mind to me, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I know.
Like there was a guy, he was a complete POS. He shot up the tech center and students and all that. And somebody got on the community page and says, I feel bad he won't get to go to prom or graduate high school. Well, I'm pretty sure he made his choice there. And there's witnesses that didn't get to do that didn't do any harm to anybody. And they got punished by being obedient.
I never thought of it that way, RJ. You get punished by being obedient. Oh,
you know, like,
wow.
And there's people who, they just go above and beyond for each other. And some of that is good. I wish I had 5% of that, you know, growing up, so I don't have a warped mind now, you know?
Oh, did your mind get warped too, RJ?
Well, I adjusted, but you know, like you carry your baggage regardless, you know?
Yes, sir.
And then being a witness is, some people really benefit. Well, I wouldn't say they benefit from it, but some people adapt to it better than others. And that's why you have like lifelong members. Like, I don't know if they completely believe, but they got married at a young age and they had kids and they worked with another brother and learned a skill, and it's a lot harder for them to leave.
Well, some people feel a lot better when they're in a group, and as long as you do the alt two-step, as long as you're in good standing, you enjoy it, means so much to you to have acceptance, to feel that you belong to a group that accepts you. And, you need that. You get addicted to it. You get validation. You feel like, oh, this is where I belong. And the thought of leaving it, you just can't handle it. They get so used to believing a certain way and acting a certain way and thinking a certain way. It's like that's the way they're programmed.
Yeah, humans are very they're tribal creatures. They don't want to be isolated. They want to feel part of the group.
No doubt. That's why they use shunning. Shunning kills you. I was reading an article where they did scientific experiment on the brain, and they found that the damage and pain that people feel when they're shunned is the same as the kind of pain of being physically tortured. And there comes a point where you'll do anything to get away from the pain, which explains why there are so many suicides. It's literally called spiritual death, and they want you to die. It's almost like they want you to die. It's what they did in the old days, like when they had the cavemen and the wandering tribes. If you fell out of favor with the group, they banished you, and it was death. It always meant death. And the scientists said that over the years, over the generations, the brain perceives being cast out and being totally alone and rejected as the same as a slow death. And, Watchtower knows what they're doing. Go ahead.
So see, this is Donald here. So see, there you go. They do throw stones.
They may be metaphorical, but they hurt.
Yeah, because I've read articles about people who, or not just read articles. I've heard YouTube videos about people who have committed suicide because of shunning. One guy in particular, Michael, I think is what his name is. There's a video about him. He killed himself over the Jehovah's Witnesses. So, yeah, it's rough. It's a bad deal. And that's part of the mind control. Once you've been shunned, you feel like you've done God wrong. You feel like you've sinned. You feel like you've done whatever. So your brain goes into this endless loop of whatever it goes through, and it just keeps doing what it does, and you can't stop it. And some people, they just commit suicide because they can't handle it, because they can't go back to the witnesses. They're shunned all the time, so they feel the only way out is to die. So yeah, Watchtower does throw stones, even though they may not be physical stones, but the mental ones are just as bad as the physical ones are.
Yeah, I remember. Go ahead.
There's a dark side to witnesses where if behaviorally you don't fall in line, or if you become an apostate, or even saying that I got better things to do with my time, this isn't important, they wish death upon you. And that's so crazy to say, like somebody that didn't do you personally wrong, you wish death upon. That's so bonkers. I can't wrap my head around it.
Bonkers, that's a good word. What's your name, dear?
The one talking before, or me?
You.
RJ.
Oh, my good. Well, my ears ain't what they used to be. want to make sure I cover everybody. You brought up Michael, right, RJ? Was he that?
That was me, Donald, brought up Michael.
Oh, Donald. Well, I want to thank you for bringing him up. I don't know if I'm remembering the correct person, but when you said Michael, I remembered this white guy, little overweight, short hair. He was just absolutely devastated. He really hadn't done anything wrong, but I think he was very concerned about certain issues that were going on in the congregation or in the Watchtower. I think he had 4 kids, happily married, but they just browbeat him down to nothing and started all kinds of horror. They started all kinds of. Go ahead.
Yeah, and they were his wife too, I think.
Oh, no doubt. And they beat them down so badly, and nobody gets suicidal for no reason. And nobody gets suicidal because they're weak. They get suicidal because the pain of being alive is worse than anything, and they just want the pain to stop. But I remember, if I have the person correctly in my mind, Dan Clark and his wife took off and tried to drive over to where Michael was to try to help him, and it was too late. It was one of the saddest stories I've ever heard.
And Anne Marie, there was somebody I was friends with, and I didn't always, there was a couple issues there, you know, like some of the stuff they did to me, but I look back at it now and say, like, they had a rough break, because that was somebody who, you know, if he just had a normal upbringing and just had regular expectations as far as, like, you know, what other people go through, I think he tried to be a good witness, and he just was so depressed and lonely and antisocial because of that. It just ate him alive, you know?
It's amazing how absolutely cruel and cold and vindictive they can be towards somebody who actually has not done anything wrong. That they could drive them
tough
to
because, you know, some witnesses, they like, and his older brother, he got married really young, and he had a wife and family, and you know, but it was tougher for him because, like, the pool's only so deep, you know, like, it's not like, you know, you go to the local diner every Friday night and yak it up with your friends, you know? And you have, you know, you get a lot of loneliness and depression, you question yourself, and it's no good.
Yep, so they make sure that part of the programming is they make you feel like shit. They make you feel like you're worse than dog doo-doo. Really, almost literally, that there's nothing good about you, you're nothing but garbage, and they make you feel like that, and that there's no hope, and they get to where they feel there's no hope. No kindness. This organization has caused way beyond damage that we probably could even begin to fathom.
And you talked about the mind control before. I think when you leave, you have to understand that you're low confidence. Like, not necessarily, you know, some people leave and they're overconfident, and some are like severely underconfident. Like, it's not like a, you know, we don't all leave on the same you know, playing field, but you do have to relearn the confidence to make decisions for yourself. And you have to learn what your boundaries are, what you dislike and what you like. And you have to reteach yourself all those things.
It's hard to start looking to yourself and to validate yourself and to allow yourself to be objective enough to realize that whatever thought or feeling is in you, to step back and say, is this really valid? Is this serving me? Is this from my programming? We have to look at it and see it for what it is, because to me, you can't really heal unless you deal with each thought and feeling straight on. And you have to be in the habit of it and giving yourself kudos, telling yourself you're a good person, telling yourself you're human and you're doing the best you can. because they put you down so much, make you doubt yourself so much, tell you not to think independently, make you feel like if you're not thinking like them, that you're a defect.
Anne Marie, when I was probably 10 years old, and I was kind of a little brat. So sometimes I told my aunt, like, I don't like going to meetings. Like, I just told her that. And then she took, like, the worst, like, kid, like, from the Kingdom Hall that was hyperactive and a little monster. And she said, well, he's going to live in paradise because he likes going to meetings. You don't.
Oh, my Lord.
It's bonkers. And, like, back in the day, maybe even now, I don't know, but you could get disfellowship for smoking cigarettes. I know at work, somebody goes and gets some fresh air. They smoke their cigarette. They come back in. I don't hate my coworker for life because of that. It's something they did for 5 minutes, and it has nothing to do with me. That's the attitude you got to have, you know. Like, it's so bonkers when you get out of it and you look back at it.
I like that word you're using, bonkers. That just covers it all. Crazy, misconstrued, stupid, ridiculous, unconscionable. It covers everything.
Hi, Anne Marie.
And I would say they're also sick, too.
Oh, no doubt. Well, thank you so much. Was that my sister, Susan?
It was. How are you?
Well, if you really want to know. Happy to hear your voice, my sister.
Yeah, I'm thinking of that about losing people that are in our lives. Sometimes we lose them because, of course, they leave the Watchtower or we leave. But there's times when the Watchtower makes us leave them. Like if they get disfellowship, we're made to leave them. Or let's say our child dies in the hospital. We're made to let them die. Can you imagine ever getting over that? If you let your child die, I don't think I could. That would drive me bonkers. But yet you're expected to do this with a smile on your face. Yes, I let my child die yesterday. Isn't that wonderful? Jehovah wanted me to do that. Well, really think about that. How can you justify that on any planet?
I remember a sister had allowed her child to die from a lack of blood transfusion. The child died. They had a memorial service, which you know how the average JW memorial service starts. And the very next day was a meeting for service, and that woman was expected to be smiling, proving her faithfulness. Oh, well, she'll be in the resurrection. And she went out in service like nothing happened because she was trying to prove her loyalty and to prove that her faith was still strong. Her little baby dead.
Anne Marie, if Jehovah's Witnesses said antibiotics are bad, they're evil, they're bad, there's something wrong with them, there's a scripture in the Bible that says you can't have antibiotics, what would people say and think? They think you were a nut job. In the Watchtower, would you even believe that? Could you believe that, Anne Marie? If the governing body said you can't have antibiotics, you're going to have to die from the infection. It's going to be a horrible death, but you're going to live forever on paradise. Or pick something else, another reason.
I remember when they told my mom when she was just studying that she couldn't let us have vaccinations because vaccinations were a disfellowshipping offense, if you can believe that, but they were. And then they told her when the polio vaccine came out, remember when they passed them around in sugar cubes? They told my mother that we couldn't have it. Our mother made sure we were in line with the rest of the neighborhood kids getting that polio vaccine.
Can you believe they do these things? And we stand in line and follow through just what they want us to do because they know how to teach us to do these things. We don't realize it, but all the Watchtowers we study and all the meetings we go to, We don't get the subtle things that they teach us to do these stupid things.
It's horrible. What's scary is how easily governing body can manipulate their faithful, non-thinking followers. Well, it was this way, but now it's that way. We need to clarify. I love when they say we need to clarify. Bullshit. You taught something as actual fact, and now you're going to use the word clarify as if we were too stupid to get it right the first time?
Or maybe Jehovah, what they're saying, Jehovah was. He was too stupid the first time. But the governing body now, in their whatever meetings and their little talks, decided that, we need to clarify. We just understand correctly. Or Jehovah didn't make us understand correctly. And there was a reason. And we'll understand someday. We'll just rely on Jehovah, and he's going to help us to understand why we had to let our little kids die.
Well, you know what's interesting? If you look back throughout the whole religion from, say, today backwards, the entire thing is nothing but one big open sore lie. Because if they have to clarify all the time, which they claim they do, then if you look back at the past, the whole cotton picking thing is wrong.
So what you're doing now could be wrong. It could need a clarification.
Yeah, because in the future, they're going to clarify, they're going to re-clarify. So what they clarified today, then in the future, they're going to re-clarify. So what they clarified now is not going to be the truth.
So all brothers who have a beard, you better shave it because they might change their minds.
Yeah, and that's just it. I mean, they never get the truth from Jehovah because it's always changing. And God doesn't work like that. God doesn't give you half truth and then expect you to try and figure it out and then say, well, you need to clarify this and all that stuff. When God speaks his word, if he's really speaking to the person, it's going to be the truth. It's not going to be, well, did God really say this or did he not? I mean, look at Noah and all the other people. When God told Noah to build the ark, do you think that Noah kind of thought, well, did God really say that? Or did he say, maybe he wants me to build a castle instead? Or maybe I misunderstood God and maybe he said, climb a tree when the flood comes. You know, I mean.
Hey, we got someone here. We got someone wants to come on here. Let's bring on 860. 860, you're on with us. Go ahead.
That might be me, Rick. Hi, Mary, Anne Marie, and everybody else.
Oh, you're new?
It was nice to hear from you. No, this is Deborah.
Oh, hi,
I've been on a few
Deborah.
times. I just wanted to give a little bit of feedback. Not that it's going to mean much, but
Of course
the thing
it
about
will.
the brother who spoke before about boundaries. That's the first thing. Watchtower doesn't want you to have boundaries. Only within the religion. That's it. You have the boundary to make the meetings. You have the boundary to go out in service. You have the boundary to be faithful to the brothers. But then they don't want you to be a human being. To go further with this, they don't want you to have boundaries for the rest of the world except for not being a part of the world. There was another important thought I had in my head too, about what was it? It went along with boundaries. But anyway, yeah, they just want you to keep doing service to them. That is it. You know, and it's sad. And what people have to remember too is it's like being in a narcissistic relationship with someone. Your mother, your father, your mate, and nobody can make you feel. I mean, people say, well, you make me feel this way. No, you already feel that way because of what's been implanted in your head for years.
Yeah.
I learned this when I was going to counseling after my divorce, from being a Jehovah's Witness. And it was like the psychiatrist was telling me, no, You're looking at it the wrong way. They're not making you feel anyway. You already feel that way. They're just reinforcing it for you. You allowed them to do whatever. So we have to get out of that mindset that, oh, someone made me feel this way or that way. No, that was instilled in us like it was for anybody who's a recipient of being in a narcissistic relationship. We put up with it for far too long. God didn't create us to be followers of anything or anyone.
Absolutely. Doesn't Psalms 146 verse 3 say, don't put your trust in nobles nor in the son of earthling man to whom no salvation belongs? But yet we follow men.
Precisely. So, you know, what I'm saying is primarily for those who are studying right now, considering baptism in a Jehovah's Witness religion. They don't even look at themselves as a religion, if you really think about it. They're just a group of people. They're not a religion, just like they're not a church.
Right.
If you really look at their materials and stuff, they don't call themselves a religious group. I can't remember the last time they looked at themselves as a religion. They're just a group of people with their own ideals, set apart from everybody else to make themselves look different. But look how the tables are turning now. I mean, look what they're doing. Look what they're doing compared to what they were 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. Women can wear pantsuits now. Men don't have to wear jackets. They can wear beards. I mean, there is nothing wrong in that stuff. That stuff has been socially accepted for years, but Watchtower didn't allow it. So that's like being in that narcissistic relationship where the husband says, no, you're not going out of the house looking like that. Or, no, I don't like your hair like that. You know, no, everybody was made different. We're all equal, but we're made different for a reason. Everybody has a different personality. And in the Bible, it even tells us some were made for this, some are this, some are that. You know, like preachers, teachers. We're not all the same thing, and we're not to be identical in any way, shape, or form. So I wish that Jehovah's people who are going into the Watchtower right now, or those who are considering leaving, you know, they reflect back on this. No, they're not making you feel anyway. You have been indoctrinated for far too long, and they've instilled that in you. Draw out your own personality. Find out what makes you tick as a person, as a whole person. You know, that's all I can say. I mean,
no, you make perfect sense, Deborah. I always used to wonder, as a Jehovah's Witness, why did you make me me? Why did you give me aspirations to want to be a teacher and to sing and to act and to write if these are not pleasing to you? Because the Watchtower has one script that everybody is supposed to live up to, and that's to be a completely submissive, non-thinking, always believing, obedient, Watchtower drone, faithful to the Watchtower, loyal to the Watchtower, working for free to the Watchtower, giving you your money and recruiting for the Watchtower.
Exactly. And another thing, this thing about the disfellowshipping and not talking to somebody and looking at them as they were dead. I was raised up on that. And anybody who was disfellowshipped, you couldn't even look their way. You had to pretend that they were dead. Well, there's a verse in the Bible, I don't remember which one it was, but that's the same as wishing someone was dead. That's a sin. That is an absolute sin to do that. So these people who are now being recruited, I pray that they start delving into their scriptures without Watchtower material and start really learning what the Bible has to say. If they truly want to learn what the Bible has to say. You know,
really?
That is a total sin to do that. That's a disgrace to the Holy Spirit, God, and Jesus. I mean, because he created everything and everyone, one way or another. I mean, yeah, we were born through natural process, but still, the original, you know what I mean? We were put here for a reason, and for us to wish somebody dead, even looking at them like they're dead, that's a sin. Jesus never did that.
No. No, that is
I tried to talk to my sister, who was a Jehovah's. She just died this past year, and she was 15 years older than me, so she was 86, 87 when she died. And she was a Jehovah's Witness throughout all her life, all of her life. And when I got this job, well, actually, I was never really even disfellowshipped that I know of, unless they did it like behind my back or something. But when I left, she got wind of it somehow, some way. Of course, she was always to herself anyway. She never really bothered with family, even after, you know, even while we were in. But I asked her one time on the internet, on Facebook Messenger, I said, why do you look at people who don't go to the Kingdom Hall anymore as being dead? I said, don't you realize that that's a sin in God's eyes to do that? You know, she never responded. The one thing she did say to me was, well, it's out of my hands. That's another phrase that they have. It's out of my hands. It's in Jehovah's hands. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've been to your ear long enough.
No worries. Thank you so much, Deborah. Brother, were you trying to step in?
Oh, no, I didn't want to interrupt Maverick here.
Hi, Maverick.
Hello, how's everyone? Hello, everyone. Deborah, is it Deborah just now? She's made some very good points. I really, really resonate with what you're saying, Deborah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I to piggyback off what you're saying, I think it's very healthy, as you mentioned, the word narcissism. It seems like there's no way of being able to truly understand the environment we're in if we don't have a grasp on how narcissistic mechanisms work. And the more work we do ourselves, which is what I've done, because I was surrounded by narcissists a long time. And just understanding it is very healthy. And even this week, I was just talking to my other half, and we were just discussing this acronym that I came across. I don't know, maybe people have actually heard this acronym before, but it spells the word DARVO, DARVO. And yes, the acronym was interesting. I don't know if anyone's heard of that before, but I'll tell you what, it absolutely is a fingerprint of how Watchtower works. So I'll try to explain it very briefly, if I may.
What does DARVO stand for?
So it stands for, it's coined by a psychologist named Jennifer Freyd. Jennifer, F-R-E-Y-D, if anyone wants to look into it more deeper, but it stands for this. DARVO stands for an institutional label for how an institution sort of responds to criticism. And so, for example, in our case with Watchtower, DARVO, it stands for, D stands for deny, A in the D-A-R-V-O. So you have D, which is deny, then second, attack, and then then you have RVO, which is reverse victim and offender. So, for example, deny. The narcissistic institution or person will deny the wrongdoing or problem. Then, when that doesn't work, they attack the credibility and motives of the character of the accuser, and then finally they reverse roles. So they reverse victim and offender. So they portray the accused party as the victim and the compliant as the aggressor. And when can I give one example, please, in context of us as being part of the organization, right? One example, how the DARVO acronym works with us being labeled as apostates, right? So, deny. The organization often denies the former members are raising legitimate concerns about doctrine, policy, or organizational conduct. So that's deny. So they deny that, oh no, they're just bitter people. There's no real good reason for somebody who goes up against Watchtower to have a legitimate reason to be upset with them. So they deny that. Then the attack comes. They then focus frequently to criticism of the character and the motives of the so-called apostates. We're portrayed as malicious, bitter. Members are warned not to listen to them, and then their information is often dismissed before being examined. Then you get the reverse victim and offender. I'll leave it at this at the last one, right? So the RVO, the organization, is presented as the victim of attacks by apostates, while those raising concerns are presented as aggressors seeking to destroy their faith. So Darvo, I mean, I ran this through ChatGPT, right? And it gave so many examples about the way they operate. And Darvo is a fingerprint of how Watchtower operates. So if anybody wants to delve into this, let them, I'll try to put some things in the chat as well. But I thought, my goodness me, every time I look into the Watchtower as an institution and its personality, it's always some psychological mechanism, especially in relation to narcissism and these other manipulative devices that they use to make the person feel like they turn themselves into the victim and we are the aggressors when they are the ones in the opposite. So it's incredible. Anyway, I could go on and on, but I'm sure someone else wants to come in.
Yeah, it's kind of like Watchtower programming their members to say that apostates use hate speech when they're the ones doing it. They accuse others of what they themselves are guilty of.
Yeah. I mean, ChatGPT brought up 1975 and used Darvo to absolutely, I could just run that very quickly by everybody if they've got the time, literally 2 minutes, but it's incredible how accurate it is. So it said, failed prophetic expectations. So Darvo, how did Darvo apply to this? So Watchtower, okay, it says Watchtower has generally acknowledged some mistaken expectations while often maintaining the members misunderstood or became overly enthusiastic, right? So they deny, oh, we never said that. We never said that 1975 was the end. People got carried away with that. Then they attack. The attack element is usually weaker here than in other examples, but they reverse the victim and offender role, and they say critics argue that responsibility is something shifted. Members are portrayed as having drawn unwarranted conclusions. So it's just, anyway, anyone interested in this subject, let them type in the acronym Darvo and in ChatGPT and type in Watchtower, and it's incredible. Anyway, thank you, Anne-Marie.
Thank you so much, Maverick. Was there someone who was trying to speak?
Anne-Marie, I have a point I'd like to make if I could.
Hi, Susan, of course.
Yes, there's something called the narcissist prayer, and I think you might relate to it. The narcissist prays, that didn't happen, and if it did, it wasn't that bad. And if it was, that's not a big deal. And if it is, that's not my fault. And if it was, I didn't mean it. And if I did, you deserved it. And it goes on to just explain a little bit what this prayer means. It illustrates denial, gaslighting, minimizing poor behavior, blame shifting, and shame dumping are all features of this one simple verse, the hallmarks of covert emotional abuse. To a narcissist, the truth is not seen as finite or a fixed entity, but as being malleable, as being whatever the narcissist says it is at the time they say it. The truth is simply whatever serves the narcissist at that particular time. And we all know this sounds like the Watchtower.
Oh, yeah, they definitely do have so many traits of the typical narcissist as a group.
That's right. And the truth is malleable. That means they can, it's like clay. You can make it whatever they want at the moment, whatever needed.
Right.
Shame dumping. They just dump everything into you. And you have to decide that this is what they're right for now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. They create the problems and then they blame you for the suffering that you're going through, the repercussions that you have to deal with for believing what they taught. Well, it's all your fault. Some people ran ahead. Well, you misunderstood. Well, you took it too far. It's your fault.
You deserved it.
Yep. You deserved it. Just in case anybody online, because there are so many now, younger Jehovah's Witnesses that have no idea that the whole 1975 fiasco really happened and how intense it was. I'm sorry, what was that? Was that an echo? Anyway, they can look up on YouTube Charles Sinutko, Sinutka, Sinutka, Charles Sinutko. He was a district overseer who gave a talk, I believe in Wisconsin, in 1976. I think it was called Running with Everlasting Life in View. And he was so emphatic. That was such an emphatic talk about the absolute certainty of 1975 being the end, and you better get in before it's too late. And many people are going to be knocking and saying, let us in. We want to be one of you. And every once in a while, he would insert the word possibility. But the talk was so intense that we who were listening to the talk, the possibility part didn't register. So they could always go back and say, well, we never said it was for sure. Well, go back and look up Brother Fred Fran's talk in 1975, who specifically said that for sure Armageddon would start September 5th, after sundown. And that's still on YouTube. And then there are all the magazines, and I remember because I was a kid when those magazines were coming out in the 60s and early 70s. Why are you looking forward to 1975? Who will rule the world in the 1970s? Everything about get in before it's too late. Even Dick has brought out in the Truth That Leads to Eternal Life that they said, I think he said more than once, that they specifically mentioned 1975. We were all taught it. We were all kept in fear. We were all kept on high alert. Armageddon, Armageddon, Armageddon. In fact, the rumor was going around in 1970 among the rank and file that they had heard that the governing body was saying that they didn't really think that the world was going to last long enough to see 1975. I mean, they were doing and saying and writing anything and everything they could to keep us believing. And then they turned around in later years, 30, 40, 50 years later, that, oh, that didn't really happen like that. Just some people just kind of made it up, or it was just a rumor. They never taught that. My own son told me I made the whole thing up. My own Jehovah's Witness son. Anybody want to comment? This is your show, Star 6. So even though we're out of the Watchtower, it's good to kind of have a clear, logical sense that these mind control games that control Jehovah's Witnesses are real. One is the less you know, the easier you are to control. People agree with confidence. The Watchtower organization, the governing body, always speaks with confidence. So people agree with confidence because it's an emotional kind of a high. They don't always agree with the facts. They'd rather watch confidence and have that emotional high. The governing body always speaks with confidence, and they know why. It makes you more of a believer. Repetition makes lies feel like truth. Speak a lie often enough, people will believe it. That's the truth. Guilt is one of the strongest forms of control. Guilt of not being good enough, guilt of not being accepted, whatever. Most people obey to avoid standing out. We want to belong. We want to be accepted. We want to be looked up to. We want to have that approval. Your emotions, won't they use our emotions? Don't use your brain, let's use your emotions. Your emotions can be used against you. Fear of being judged, fear of losing approval, fear of getting in trouble, fear of being an outcast, fear of losing your friends and family. Logic works only when people want it to. Facts and truth are disturbing to those who believe the lie. Distraction is the enemy of awareness. We want to believe what we want to believe. We don't want anything to disturb that precious Hearts and Flowers Watchtower bubble. But real freedom begins when you question everything. Under mind control tactics of the Watchtower, make them doubt their perception, but not their lives. They never want you to ever doubt their lives. If they perceive wrong, make them doubt their perception. Make them think, oh, they're thinking outside the box, letting Satan take over their mind. Number two is to use unpredictability to keep them off balance. Doesn't Watchtower do that? Then they reward loyalty and punish independence. Number four, they create the problems and then they offer the solution like, oh, wow, gee, they're the answer. Normalize the toxic and make it their new normal. Isolate them slowly and then become their world. Use guilt to turn their empathy against them. Oh, I can't be kind to my daughter, I'll be being disloyal to Jehovah. You're guilty for caring about them. You're guilty for wanting your child who's dying of a blood transfusion. You want them to have a blood transfusion, but oh, I can't do that. I have to be faithful. Number 8, keep them addicted to the highs and the lows. Remember, the longer you choose to look away, to not want to know the truth, to not want to know the facts, the harder it is to see what's right in front of you. Anybody want to comment? Anybody have a thought?
Yes, Anne-Marie,
Yes.
can you hear me?
I can hear you just well. Who's this?
Okay, you were talking about 1975. I was baptized July 11th, 1975, along with my best friend. And in our congregation, there were 79 people that lined up to get baptized. And that summer in Memphis, Tennessee, there was several thousand people that got baptized. They set up 4 giant pools, and the baptism went on the whole afternoon and on into the night, and then again the next day, trying to get everybody baptized. And I heard the same talk that Linda James heard and that other people heard, and it was when they said we couldn't get into the new system on the coattails of our parents. And that word coattails is what made that so memorable, because who the heck talks about coattails in this, and then it was modern times, of course, now it's history. But it was a very scary time, and you were right about the thing. They said, well, I thought they had said October 5th, but probably was September 5th. I just knew it was on the 5th of either September or October that they said that, exactly how you said it. And we were, even in the Kingdom ministry, which they don't do anymore, but even in the Kingdom ministry, there were they were, excuse me, there were Kingdom Ministries that was saying, you know, pointing to 1975, and it's in print, just like the Truth Book and like all the other things where they said that, and they didn't say possibility or probably. They said it was coming, and then when it didn't come, they're saying it was our lack of faith. You know, that was that we were talking about the lack of faith because they didn't say that, and they just lied out and out, lied, and they didn't even a recent talk by the governing body. They had said they don't have to apologize for anything, and they won't. So good luck getting any kind of a nice thing from them, because you won't. It's all a facade, all of it. None of it's real. There is no worldwide brotherhood that's happy and the most happiest people in the world. That's the biggest bunch of bull, you know what, that I've ever heard. Anyway, I just wanted to throw in a comment.
Well, I'm glad you did. Haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah, well, you know, I got moved over to the nursing home side from my assisted living apartment because I kept falling, and the last fall got me injured pretty bad, and so I had to move to the nursing home side because they had more people over here to work and more equipment to help get you up. And over in assisted living, they had to call like the fire department every time I fell to be able to get me up off the floor, because I fell in such weird spots. You know, and the bathroom is the most dangerous room in the house for elderly people, and I guess I'm in the elderly people part now of my life, and it doesn't seem like it, and it's been hard to accept my age. I'm 65, and I was born in, you know, witness, and I was always taught that you're never going to get old. That's what we were all taught. And my mom and dad didn't really get old. My dad was only 60 when he died, and Mama was 65. And, you know, it's just, even though I know it's all I know the truth about the truth, it's still very deep inside of my brain, you know, because it's inculcated in your brain from the moment you're born. And everything you learn those first 4 years kind of makes your life story, you know, how it's going to go. And it was just, I still have a hard time letting that go, because I look in the mirror and I'm not 16 anymore. That's for sure. But I still have all the thoughts of when I was 16 and how, you know, I got married that year, and I can still remember all the details of the wedding and everything. And he was my one true love, actually. Even though he didn't treat me that great, I still loved him. And the rest of it, my second husband was a piece of crap, even though he claimed to be a ministerial servant, the pioneer. He turned in, he was paid 125 hours a month. Am I causing that echo or anything on the phone? Anne-Marie?
Right here, sweetheart.
Oh, okay. Am I causing an echo in the phone?
Not to my ears.
Oh, okay. But anyway, on the second husband, he would put down, he went out 125 hours a month, and he placed 150 magazines and 50 books, and it was all a bold-faced lie, every bit of it. And I lost no sleep. Packing him up and booting him out, you know. And
Good for you.
I've just never been settled, I guess, in love or something. You know what I mean? It's just, it's hard to trust even a witness. I mean, it was just, well, you know, that it's because we were liars. We knew when we were out there going in service, we were there to recruit members. You know, we were trying to convert people to be Jehovah's Witnesses, and we would say, "Oh no, we're here to teach you more about the Bible." Yeah, right. You got another line after that. You know, I mean, it was a lie because you know we're not here to convert you. I mean, what was the reason for being there then if we weren't? You know.
Yeah.
But there was so many lies, and I even had to face the blood situation with my son. When he had brain surgery, and that was the hardest thing I've ever been through in my life. And I don't think they still have the Leo committee, but back when they did, they harassed the crap out of you. They wanted to talk to your doctors for you. They wanted to go to court and tell the judge what Jehovah's Witnesses believe. It didn't have a damn thing to do with my child. It was all what they were doing to promote Watchtower. And finally, I just told them, I said, if you want to sacrifice somebody's kid, bring yours up here and let them cut his brain open. And that was the one time I literally said words. And I told them to get the F out. And if they didn't get out, I was calling the security. And I called security anyway to escort them out. So I knew they were gone. And I told them not to ever come back and bother me again. Because me and my dad called the doctor, the neurosurgeon, ahead of time and told him to get a court order to give him blood if he needed it. And, of course, I was furious with my dad keeping me in the dark about it being a cult. But I had letters going off every week to the Watchtower Society that nobody could answer, you know, about Bible things. Nobody could answer them, not even the governing body. And I got the same letter back every week. It'll be taken care of, or we'll find out in Jehovah's due time. You know, we all have those little sayings in our head, you know, that everybody's heard. And if they didn't say it, how could people everywhere know the same exact wording and things that you're taught? I mean, it's part of the brainwashing technique. And to form a habit, or, you know, like listening habit, if you repeat something or hear something continually for 3 solid weeks, then it becomes a habit or a permanent thought. So it's a trick, you know, and what and they always told us to emphasize things, repeat it 3 times, and put exclamation points by, you know, from writing it. But that was, or if we were given a talk or something, that was supposed to help us put emphasis on that word and our sentence, and to say it with discernment and the way you meant, you know, like you know you're right. Anyway, I just don't want to comment because I haven't really been in touch with anybody for a while. I've just been going through a lot, and I got hurt again last night. But it was a staff member that hurt me, and so
wait, what happened last night, Dave?
One of the staff members, he was a new CNA, and he hurt me. I can't go into any detail about it, but I'm in a lot of pain. A lot of pain from that. And I tore my quad muscle and my meniscus on my leg. That's got the giant sore on it. And it's been almost a year and a half, and it's still not well. And you know, all the rest of the problems, lupus, the diabetes, and all that. It's been, and though I have been keeping a record of what I've been eating because I've been so sick after every meal. And it turns out I have to have a gluten-free diet. And it made a huge difference. I'm not getting deathly ill after I eat or anything anymore. And they went and bought me specific foods that are gluten-free, fortunately. And
Well, thank God for that.
yeah, I mean, I'm still treated very well. It's just he was a brand new CNA, and I told them, do not bring another new CNA to me because I always get hurt by them because they don't know what the heck they're doing. And so he was like 6 feet tall and like 250 pounds, you know, and he did not realize how strong he was. And you can't do that with elderly people, handicapped people, you know. And because of the way he did, tried to help me, he ended up he injured me. And I'm in severe pain from that. And it gets depressing sometimes, you know, being in a nursing home. And, you know, everybody's families, oh, well, we'll come see you. We're not like that. You know what? Everybody's family's like that. I bet you 90% of the people here don't have family that comes to see them. But the ones that do come to see them, they're bringing them, you know, food to eat. And what's bad is some of your clothes do come up missing. I've had like 4 things of clothes come up missing. And when you don't have any more money, you can't buy new clothes. When I had a little bit of money, I saved up, I bought new clothes because I was doing this with a new way to live when I was moving into the assisted living, you know. And now they're not new anymore, and some of them are even gone. And most all of your Social Security check goes to the nursing home. I get $1,060 a month from Social Security. My rent part is $990. So the difference is like $70. Yeah, 60. I got 70. Yeah. And my phone is 40 of that, which leaves me 30. And so even there's just not hardly anything you can do with that little bit of money. And it wasn't that expensive over the assisted living, you know, not as expensive as it is on this side. Yeah. And the place where I was getting physical therapy, when I moved over to the nursing home side, they refused to help me anymore. And I needed a specialized kind of physical therapy that they don't offer here. And I still don't understand why they did that to me.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, I didn't want to get too far. I'm sorry how things have to be so rough for you.
I want
Is there anybody?
I want to come in. This is Rick Farron. I want to say hello to Debbie. Hello, Debbie.
Hi.
Hi, Debbie. Yeah, I'm praying for you, Susan and I both. Hey, listen, what the 6 Screens would like to do for you, you need some clothes, right?
Some clothes?
Yeah. Is that what?
I do.
Could you use some clothes? Well, I'll tell you what we'll do with Debbie. The 6 Screens would like to help you here. So if you just write me so I know where I can send you some money to buy some clothes. The 6 Screens people
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. I couldn't hear.
I'm saying if you can send me your, where I can send you some money from the 6 Screens people here, would like to send you a little bit of money so that you can buy some clothes.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, if you could do that, Debbie. It's hard for you. I realize that and difficult, but give me your address and we will make sure that we can get some money off to you and help you a little bit. Okay, Debbie?
Okay.
Okay, good.
That would be great. I just don't.
Well, it's,
hard.
I know you're doing, Debbie. It's very hard for you. But listen, we're all praying for you, and we want to help you. So by all means, let me know where I can send that, and we'll help you out a little bit. Okay? Thank you, Debbie.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. All right.
Oh, that is so wonderful, Debbie. I'm so glad you called in. I'm so glad Rick offered to help you. He's such a generous man, and that's terrible.
I know.
You should at least have clothes.
Yeah,
should at
he's
least be able to-
wonderful.
Yeah.
And you know, I've been following Rick since around 2009. So I've seen a lot of people that have come and gone and that have died, things like that. And I told my family, you know, if I die, to please let my YouTube family know on Sixth Grade, because I said I want somebody to miss me.
We would all miss you, sweetheart. You're like an integral part of the Six Screens family. Everybody knows you and everybody cares about you.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it feels like I just can't get a break. You know, it's just one catastrophe after another. I kind of feel like Job, you know, that I lost my home, I lost my health, I lost all my friends that were my friends that I grew up with, you know, the witnesses, I lost those. And I still wonder about some of them. And I don't have any way of finding out of anything about them. And I miss having I don't know. They got me in one room by myself, and I've got it decorated for me. You know, it's my stuff. And I said, it's got to look like a home. If this is where I'm going to live, you know, I want it to look homey. And everybody, all the staff likes to come in my room because they said it just feels so inviting. And they love it. And it's always cool in here. I don't have it burning up like the rest of them. You know, and anyway, it's just, I've got blessings. You know, even this is a blessing. I wasn't expecting that at all from Rick. But it's just hard.
I'm so sorry, baby. I can only imagine. You've been through so much in your life.
Yeah, really. I have been isolating myself. Even here, I'm not leaving my room much anymore. I'm just done. You know, I get tired. I'm so far behind on messages, and I know I can't read every message because I do get lots of messages. And I just ask people to be patient because I do try to get back to everybody. And I've got 4 cards I've been trying to get out for 2 weeks. And it's my granddaughter's 30th birthday this month on the 23rd. And now I've got 3 great grandbabies. 2 boys and a girl. The newest one's about a month old. And the other one's 18 months old, and the other one will be 2 in September. And I'm just like, how did that happen? You know, for real. That many generations from just me and my mom would have been 5 generations, you know. And not everybody gets to live this, you know, and see this much of their family grow. And I just really don't get to. I haven't met my great grandson and great granddaughter. They were here for 2 days, and they stopped on their way out of town to let me meet her for 10 minutes. And that's the only time I've seen her. And they only live 3 hours away, you know, and I don't know if I'll ever get to meet my great grandson, but my youngest granddaughter, with the one that's almost 2, she's come up several times. but he's in that stage where he wants to get into everything. And I forgot how hard it was having kids that little. And then I was worn out just looking at him.
I can understand.
But
Do you have an address?
Yes, I do. Or you want me to tell you it now?
If you don't mind, I mean,
Okay.
I want to.
Oh,
Okay,
no,
what is
that's fine. It's 510 Centennial Circle. Room number 410.
410?
Yeah, 410. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
410.
yeah. And it's North Platte. And Platte is spelled Platte.
Okay, I'm sorry. Could you repeat that? It's North what?
North Platte, Nebraska.
Okay, class as in classroom?
No, but that's the city.
Okay, spell the word after North slowly so I get it if you don't mind.
After North. It's P.
P.
P is in Paul. L is in lady, A is in apple, T is in tea, and E is in elephant.
So I have P is in Paul, L-A-T-T-E, is that correct?
Yeah, T-T-E.
Okay, I got that.
Okay. And the zip code is 691.
What's the state?
Nebraska.
Okay, so is that NB or how do you say it?
It's capital N-E.
Oh, N-E. And your zip is here? What's the zip?
69101.
Okay, so I have Debbie Moore, 510 Centennial Circle, room 410, North Platte, Nebraska, 69101. Is that correct?
That's right. But it's not Platte, it's Platte.
Okay, but it is
the name of
it is Platte. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just pronounced Platte.
Oh, that is so awesome. That's good. I'm so glad you gave us your address, Debbie. Way to go.
I thank you for asking.
Well, I thank you. I've missed hearing you on the show. And I'm sorry for all of the mess you're going through. That's the hardest part, is being in a nursing home. I really do believe that.
And I've had this wound on my leg in October, it will be a year. No, it'll be 2 years. Yeah,
dear.
I've been in 24. Oh my God, it started out as cellulitis. I had no idea about what cellulitis really was or how bad it could be. And it almost has killed me. You know, last year, in February the 2nd, they told my family to go ahead and plan my funeral. And because I wasn't going to live through the night. But I did, obviously.
Yeah.
But I was in intensive care, and after 2 days, I was septic. I mean, so septic. I didn't speak for 2 days. If I don't talk for 2 days, there is really something bad going on in my body. Because I talk to everybody about everything. And I've made a lot of friends with the staff here because right in here where I'm at, it's mostly people with dementia. And I'm beginning to think it's contagious.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah. But I am happy because I got the very first room as you come over to the nursing home. And mine is the very first room, and I've got a sign on my door. And it's like a photo, it's like a picture, but it's and it's got be happy, forgive one another, be happy and healthy, and all these positive things. So everybody sees that when they come in and when they go out. And I just want to have a positive message, for anybody. And,
Well, good for you.
And anytime I go out of my room, I read it to remind myself.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Debbie, for wanting to come on and give us all the information. And you'll be hearing from me. And we wish you all the best, Debbie. Thank you for being with us. Yeah.
Thank you, Rick. I appreciate it.
Good.
Thank you, Debbie. Thanks, Anne Marie, for taking my call.
Oh, bless your heart. Well, we're just happy to hear from you, dear. And I hope to hear you on, 6 Screens more, because we do all love you and care about you.
Yeah. I love everybody that I've gotten to know through 6 Screens, a whole lot of people. But I feel guilty that I keep up with all the messages I get. Yeah. I just can't read sometimes because I'm having problems seeing. I've got macular degeneration. I didn't know that could be fast. That could be taken from, but it could be genetic. And my mom had it, and my aunt had it. And they both were blind. And I'm like, no way. So I've already lost my peripheral vision.
Oh, dear.
I don't even see him when he comes in my room. And it scares me to death when somebody says something because I didn't see them, So my vision's getting really bad. And
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's going to be something else.
Oh.
But, it's important to keep in mind that no matter how bad things are for you, there's always somebody that has it worse.
Yeah. Okay, sweetheart. Anybody else want to call in? We're almost out, yes? I think I hear somebody in the distance, but I can't hear who you are. I heard a lady, I think. Can you hear me now? Oh, I can hear you. What's your name, dear? Yeah, this is Bernadette again. Hi, Bernadette. Okay, now I can hear you. I'm sorry about before. I forgot I had a grocery order coming and it came and the horn and dog was barking. No worries. So about that 1975, yeah, I got baptized in 74 and I was actually pioneering in 75. And I remember bits of conversations that were in the car group. Of course, I was just newly baptized, so I was green. And honestly, I did not remember seeing it in print. However, I have since seen, we've heard videos of brothers at the conventions as well as things in print. They definitely were saying 75. But I remember there was a sister that was pregnant with her first child, and she was supposed to be born in the fall of 75.
And I remember her distinctly saying, "Oh, he might be the first baby born in the new system."
Oh, yeah,
So
that's
now
what was going
probably a
around.
grandfather. Yeah, now he's like 50. I remember an older sister making an adamant comment that everyone knows that the Armageddon was coming in 75. It was definitely promoted by the Pharisaical organization and believed by the cult members. But they're too proud. Those Pharisees are too haughty and proud, never to accept when they're wrong. And they're Pharisees. It's repulsive when you really see how they are. But and then there was one more comment. I absolutely remember reading this in like a Watchtower, and I haven't heard anybody mention it, so I am curious if anybody else remembers this comment. But when 75, or when the fall came and went, and no Armageddon, then I remember reading that they made a comment. Because they always talked about the end of 6,000 years of man's existence. Well, then they made a comment. We don't know how long Adam was in the garden before Eve was created, as if that would be the defining factor when that date would come. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, well, that little comment about we don't know when Eve was created, that was their wiggle room. But then in other parts, they said, well, we might be wrong by weeks, maybe months, but certainly not years. They said that in print. And the other thing is, when it really became evident it wasn't coming, we all got yelled at and chastised by Freddie Franz from the podium at a special convention held at night at the Assembly Hall. He's actually yelling at us because we were murmuring. So, yeah,
It's crazy.
had us all hanging on.
I'm sorry, what?
No, go ahead, dear. It's your show.
It goes along with your brainwashing or your theme today, because I am shocked. 50 years, I believed this was the only true religion. I believed it until 2.5 years ago, when I accidentally, totally by accident, because I never would have purposely went to apostate websites, but thankfully Yahweh, I know He directed me there, and it was so easy to see. But for 50 years, I thought this is the only true religion. So even when it was kind of discouraging to be in that group, you stayed because you truly thought it was a matter of pleasing God. You had to stay. It was the only one. But it is amazing how much we were brainwashed, to believe all their crazy words. And now you hear the words, and it's like it's comical in a sense because they're so crazy, and yet we believed it. And some people more than others. Like, I think some people were maybe smarter, or I don't know, maybe some of them caught on quicker, but I was totally duped. And it's shocking. It's shocking how they can do that.
Bottom line, Bernadette, we were believing what we were programmed to believe. So that's the bit of it. Is there anything more you want to say? Because we're going to need to close the show. Go ahead.
Hi, Marie. I found, it's Maverick again. I found a snippet of that Sunoco's 1967, him explicitly talking about 1975. Can I play that? It's only about 40 seconds long. For any 1975 deniers, I'll play it there. Well done. Here we go.
Well, now, Jehovah's Witnesses, as runners, even though some of us have become a little weary, It almost seems as though Jehovah has provided feet in due season, because he's held up before all of us a new goal, a new year, something to reach out for, and it just seems it's given all of us so much more energy and power in this final burst of speed for the finish line. And that's the year 1975. There's one moment. Stay alive to 75.
Yeah, I wish some.
Straight from the horse's mouth. I'm just saying. It's
Well,
straight from the
I
horse's
hope
mouth.
I hope everybody looks up the talk and listens to the entire talk, because I remember hearing that talk. Okay, Maverick, we need to close the show unless there's something else you want to add. Do you want to add another thought?
No, it's just basically, I urge anybody who's listening who maybe hasn't had the courage to face things. It's hard. It's a hard road to face reality, but the facts are the facts, and that's what I said to myself. The facts are the facts. I can have all the emotional, uncomfortable feeling, all the cognitive dissonance in the world, but ultimately, the truth. We said that we were in the truth. To be in the truth and to remain in the truth, we have to accept the reality of the characters and the personality of this organization. The same way if we had faith in a real person, somebody we love and care for in our family who let us down or betrayed us, this organization betrayed all of us, and they deserve to be scrutinized like this. And I urge everybody to have the courage to stand for the truth, which is facts and reality, and not to deny actual records that are out there for everyone to see on YouTube. So that's all I wanted to say, Anne-Marie. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much. I was so glad that clip from Brother Sanuko's talk came in so clear. I want to thank everyone for coming in, and I also want to go over again real quickly the tools that we can use when those scary thoughts or, scary feelings come up. What can we do? We can take a breath, step back, ask yourself if this scary thought or feeling is really your thought or feeling, or is it from the Watchtower programming just rearing its ugly head? Programming runs deep. Learn to logically tell the difference. Pray for help to be free, to free yourself from the programming. And the songs on YouTube that can really help encourage you and validate you, 2 are from Fleetwood Mac. These are all on YouTube. Fleetwood Mac's 2 songs. One is Go Your Own Way. The other song is Don't Stop. Another one is from Sly and the Family Stone, Stand. That one is so encouraging. It's called Stand. Paul Simon wrote a song, 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. And if you think about it as far as leaving Watchtower, it will make you laugh. Leaving behind the Watchtower control over you. And then The Who put out a song, Won't Get Fooled Again. And finally, REM, R-E-M, Losing My Religion. I want to thank everyone who came in. I want to thank Debbie for sure, who was so kind to give us her address. I hope that you guys might drop her a card. It should make her feel better and encouraged. Debbie Moore, 510 Centennial Circle, room 410, North Platte, Platte, North Platte. I don't know what the thing is, but it's NE, the state, NE, I guess it's Nebraska. Zip code 69101. I want to thank everyone who came in, Donald from Texas, Bernadette, Stephen, Pixie, RJ, Deborah, who talked about having boundaries and who mentioned that Watchtower are just like narcissists. I want to thank Maverick, who came in from London, and Susan and Debbie Moore once again. Thank you all, my beautiful Six Screens family. We need to go back to Rick, our dear brother, and JW World News. Stick around for that.
Well, thank you very much, Anne-Marie. My goodness gracious, it's good to hear from Debbie. And I'll tell you what, folks, Well, when you stop and think about it, you know, Debbie has had a difficult life, a very difficult life. But, you know, I'm going to tell you another thing. We're all heading somewhat. I'm not trying to be negative here, but, you know, we're all going to get old. We're all going to get frail someday. And what Debbie needs is a card. Send her a card. Let her know you're thinking of her. It would be really, really good. Well, anyways, that's the program tonight. Anne-Marie did a great job. Lots of people coming in from all over the world. Now, I'm here with the control panel up here in Boston, and I can see people coming in, dialing in, and wanting to speak up, and from pretty much all over the world and all across America. So it's really amazing that 6 screens is where Jehovah's Witnesses, that is, ex Jehovah's Witnesses, come to talk. Well, we've got more programming coming up tonight. We have got, well, actually, we go to JW World News. Now, that's coming up next here on the network. And I want to let you know that Barbara Anderson will be coming on with us in about an hour or so, somewhere around the 9 o'clock hour. And wants to share some thoughts with us. We're always happy to have Barbara come on. We never know what she's going to say. Sometimes she shares things with us that we've never heard before. So maybe that'll happen tonight. So Barbara Anderson will be on with us tonight. And also, I wanted to talk about the glue. You know, I wake up in the middle of the night. I wonder what, in goodness' name's sake, is keeping Jehovah's Witnesses in the organization. What is the glue that's keeping them in? What are they sticking to? Well, I think today I uncovered it. I think I have found the glue that has Jehovah's Witnesses sticking like big time, like super glue to the organization. I think I found the answer. I'm going to share it with you next, right here on JW World News. Coming up next, stay on this channel. Don't go anywhere. You will not be disappointed. And I'm looking so forward to seeing all of my friends in JW World News. Thank you for coming into Anne-Marie's program. Don't go anywhere. Like we stay on our radio network, stay on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you very much.